Welcome back to the 150K podcast. I'm your host, Joe Graham. Where we help take your dreams to six figures and beyond. Today, we have a return guest, Zach Babcock. All of you know him. He's been on the show before, Underdog Empowerment and all. Zach, thank you for coming back on the show. How have you been, my friend?
Dude, I'm happy to be back, dude. I've been seeing you grinding and putting, man, consistent and putting out content, killer content at that, man. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I know, like on our last episode, we kind of talked about podcasting and what you're known for, but you're moving into a lot of other different realms. A lot of people don't know some of the other stuff that you do. So why don't you let us in a little bit into the other aspects of your world? What are you like looking into doing now and moving toward?
Yeah, man. Appreciate that question, man. It's been cool, man. It's nothing groundbreaking, man. It's actually just me living the full spectrum of my life, which I wasn't doing before. I was sacrificing everything for just the business, man. And I guess I'll just share the story with you, of what really sparked this. Really, it was a lifelong thing, but dude, I just got a bunch of shit, from over the years stored up. Really traumatic events, not just from like prison and stuff that are, here's the deal about trauma, y'all. Like, dude, it's unavoidable. We're going to face it throughout life. So you just got to have a way of cleaning it up. And I'm 33 years old and just now learned how to regulate my emotions recently. So all that traumatic events that I've had throughout my life had just been constantly getting stored. And until recently, like the last year, I've been actually found a way that finally get that shit out. And, it's helping me become a better man in the process. I'm just a better person, a better husband, a better father, a better business owner, a better friend, whatever. So that's what it's all about. What I'm pretty excited about. I could go on, and there's a lot more to it, but really the story was, after sacrificing my health and my relationships for so long, after I turned my life around. See, I thought I had reached the mountaintop when I got out of prison and turned my life around. Yeah. Nah, man, that shit's just the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, step one.
We got a whole lot of work to do, man. And so it's cool. I'm being cool with not freaking out that there's so much work and trying to do it all at once. Like, I'm cool with exactly where I'm at right now, because I have everything I need right now to be everything that I want to be right now and become that person that I am becoming. It's a journey. It's not an overnight thing. It's life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we could jam all about it, man.
No, I'm all for it, because like a lot of people I work with in the sales world or in the non-vertical world are like you were, and like I was when I first started in sales. We grind, we push, we sacrifice everything. We don't eat right. We don't go to our kids' baseball games. We get so caught up in what we're doing that we're actually not living. So, and then the trauma, yeah, I mean, I'm 45 and I just did my first breathwork session 3 weeks ago. So like I'm starting to get into some of that type of stuff, acupuncture and all. Dude. So let's dig in there a little bit. How did you even what made you realize that you were there? Did you just start to burn out, or what was going on to get you that point?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I was literally going to go into the story, and I was like, I'm talking too much. Let me throw it back to the host, man. You know how it is, man. Sometimes you get those guests that just go, and we could go about this, but I wanted to be respectful. But yeah, man, how I got to it. And by the way, I got my boy Rocky. He's with me every day. So if you ever hear a little dog bark, he's a good boy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love dogs.
Always bring him with me. But the story though, man, is check it out. When I had last year in the very end of 2020, literally the day after we closed on the new house on the 21st, and then the day after Christmas, we moved into our new house in Wentzville, away from North County, away from the ghetto. We had a house big enough finally for our daughter to have her own room instead of sleeping in our closet for a nursery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
awesome. That's good. That's definitely good.
Yeah. So I did that. And then the next month, at the end of January, at January 20th, we held our first mastermind. And I had down in Pensacola, Florida, and I had people flying all over from the US for that. And I was sitting there at the mastermind. I wasn't even happy. I was like, all right, what's next? Thinking about what's next. I'm like, dude, wait a minute. You got a problem here, man. And then I got home. And then I went to interview Sean Whalen right after that, and literally left the event. And then he's talking about all this freedom and stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't have that right now. I'm like, there's got to be something more. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't put into words what the fuck it was, right? But I knew there was something. And I literally got back home and I'm like, man, I literally did everything that they said I would never do. And it still wasn't enough.
Yep.
And so that's what really set me down this path. But there was other shit that led to it throughout my entire life. But those were really kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like pivotal moments, like where people, and a friend of mine said this to me once, and I agree with it. Don't let other people make your world for you. They'll make it too small, or they'll put you in a box that this is success or that is success. And in reality, success doesn't always look like what the fancy cars and all the different stuff. Success for you might be different than someone else. But like you were saying, like you started going through that process. So who did you reach out to, or how did you find help? So like, you have the problem, but how did you get to the next point? Because men notoriously don't ask for help.
Bro, I try to do the opposite of what most people do. That's like one of my philosophies in life. And I figured out a way how to win with that and be like that enigma in sort of sense. Like I literally do that. And so I look at most men, and most men don't talk about their emotions. Most men run away from this shit. Most men, they don't do that shit. And they're all talking about winning in business and stuff. And like, it's funny because you see the memes. I got meme. I do cartoon memes because I like to do them. But like you see the memes, like the Drake meme, right? And it's showing like he's looking up and it's like, I got the job, and it's like 270 likes and 50 something comments or whatever. And then the bottom one, he's looking salty, and it's like, I started a business, and there's 3 likes and 1 comment. That shit's funny, right?
Yeah.
Well, dude, I got one where I'm making one about I just scaled my business to 7 figures, and everybody's hyping that post up. And then like, hey, I just healed a deep childhood trauma wound, and get 1 or 3 likes. Dude, that's the real shit. That's the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that moves the needle forward in everything in life, like dealing with your own shit, your own darkness and dysfunction, dude. Because I'll be the first to tell you, dude. And I get it. I understand this person so well, dude. I can literally, dude, that alpha male entrepreneur that's dominating in business and like, dude, I'm fucking winning. But you're so fucking scared to even deal with the shit from your childhood because that shit hurts so fucking much, and your ego had no other choice but to take the wheel from that moment on in life and got you to where you're at now. And that's why you have all this outward bullshit success. I mean, yeah, you have financial success. That's awesome. You do got that. But what about your fucking health, man? What about your fucking relationships? Does your fucking wife hate you? Are you fucking showing up for every single, not just game, but every single practice? I'm talking about every single fucking practice, and not in your fucking car on the phone like so many fucking dads do, but like out there, like involve watching there, not distracted and shit. Like that's the shit. Like, that shit woke me up, dude. It was like, man, I don't want to be that or whatnot. And I get that person, man. And so it's not just trauma though. I don't want to just put that on trauma, dude. Like, dude, so like what I'm launching it's not even about trauma. That's just one piece of it, right? That's shit you got to deal with however you deal with it. Your old shit from the past on how you were traumatized by your parents and the traumatic experience that you went through as well outside of the home, that you're going to continue to go through the rest of your life, because we all do. It's unavoidable. It's part of life. You know what I'm saying? All we could do is play our part in that, but that's just one piece of it. So, yeah, man, as you can see, I'm starting to get a little fired up.
I like it. I love it. And I want to, because you just dropped a bunch of really good things that I don't want people to miss. One, don't be the dad at the game that's not present for your kids. Like I ended up actually doing baseball and being the assistant coach because I suck at baseball. I admit, but my son played, so I wanted to be involved. So I was on the bench, just doing stuff, just being involved. So don't do that. And you're right, it's not just trauma. It's also the stuff that you deal with as a man, as a person, opening up, growing yourself, because you'll never scale your business past that point if you don't actually fix those wounds with that stuff, because you're the biggest reason your company will either grow or fail, or you'll see them crash and do the super great business and then just bomb. Yeah, no, I vibe definitely with you for sure.
Because that ego's so big. Yeah, dude, you get it, man. And dude, that's fucking awesome that you do that, dude. Like, dude, I'm coaching football. It's my 2nd year into it, and I'm leading the defense this year, but I fucking love it now. I obsess about it. But at first I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I never coached football before.
Yep.
I loved the game of football. I played it 1 year when I was a kid at 11 and a little bit at 12 before I totally checked out and shit and went down the deep end. But I didn't know shit about it, right? But dude, I fucking got on YouTube YouTube and started learning about it and started talking to the other coaches and getting into it. And now it's like, dude, I catch myself daydreaming when I'm building the business during the time that I set aside for building the business about the defense, like, you know, about the defense we're going to run on the people and shit, and how we're going to practice and what drills we're going to run for it. Like,
well, and the thing that your kids will remember more is not what play you called or what you did. Because I suck at baseball, like I said, and even though I did it for 2 seasons with them, but that you were there with them and you were present. And that's something that I commend you on. It's huge because a lot of guys do the thing and check the box, like you said, but they're not really doing the thing.
Yeah, dude, that's where it's at, man. It's like, it's weird, but I've been slowing the fuck down the last year and a half, and I've been moving faster than I've ever moved in life by slowing down, and I'm actually enjoying it now. And that's the biggest difference these days, man.
Yeah, well, because you can't grind all the time. The grind culture, hustle culture, and I'm in a grind culture world with sales and business all the time. It doesn't work. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna, why are you going to do all this stuff and then not actually succeed at what you want to do or enjoy the trips or your family or what you said you're doing it for? I mean, unless you're just an ego-driven maniac, and then you're going to burn anyway.
Yeah, it's all right. You got me. You kind of got me on you sparked a lot of inspiration with that comment right there. So one of my problems was for so long that I'm learning to deal with is that I was addicted to chaos, addicted to high stress, high cortisol release, a continuous, constant fight or flight response that I lived in my entire life. And then I'm training my body not to be in all the time. Like when things got too calm and peaceful, I'd find a way to go and fuck them up. So that's why, like so many entrepreneurs, they have so many fucking projects that they never finish.
Yep.
Because they're fucking, and they got the shiny object syndrome because it's always the excitement and the draw of the new thing and the chaos and why do we think we're such great clutch performers? We can perform in those high clutch situations because we live there in a constant 24/7 thing. But what do you think that's doing, wrecking havoc on the body wise? You know what I'm saying? Like, literally physically, like there's literally 100%. Science and shit behind this. Like, go read The Body Keeps the Score by the doctor, I can't remember his name, but there's literal science and shit behind it. Like, it's wild. But yeah, man, we could riff on this shit, man, all day.
Yeah, when I think it's important because, again, in the sales world, in the entrepreneurial world, this happens too much. That's why 99% of businesses fail, because they can only go as far as the person in charge of them. A friend of mine said that his name's Alex Sharfton. I don't know if you know who he is. He literally said that we go and start and become our own arsonists. Like people like us, because we're so used to that chaos, and learning to just stop, breathe, and be in the moment. It's hard for us, but it's key for us to grow. So so what have you done to help get better at that? Like, you're being present in the moment. You said there's some other stuff that you did. What else has helped you? Because I know we've riffed on it some, but I want to give them some help, some ideas too.
Yeah, bro. So I'm launching some shit, and that's what this is all about. So like, this is literally, it's just my way of life, I guess you would put it, but I put a spin to literally something that's already been there for thousands of years, man. Like, you see it all the time. Like, people got they call it the 4 F's, like family, finances, fitness, and faith, or whatever. They're 4 pillars in life. Well, mine is the 5 pillars. I just break it up because I like a holistic lifestyle. But mind, body, soul, relationships, and finance. I believe there's a mindset component, a body component, your soul component, right? Your relationship component, and the finance component. And for me, dude, like, I run this thing, I call it the A5 methodology. I'm literally still, I don't put it out there that much because I'm literally finally, after years, like, got how I operate. And once I added this, and here's the contradictory part to it, when I added this new tweak back in the beginning of 2021, when I realized, hey, it's still not enough. There's more to life than just business and dominating, winning. Like, it's a full thing, right? The full package. So I took how I attacked my business all those years, like how I'm very good at strategic planning and breaking shit the fuck down, starting with the end result and going all the way down to the very, to the daily task and shit. So I took that same methodology of how I attacked the business and incorporated this framework to add it to all 5 layers of life, all 5 of those. And you attack those goals by having, like, literally, I know how and this is how detailed I get with it. It's on my vision board and shit. Like I know how I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die peacefully, not from no terminal. Like I'm literally gonna have a long my family by my side, dying happily, got to say our goodbyes, all that shit. Like I think about that shit. And so since I have such a clear vision of that shit, then my daily habits is that's why I hop in a fucking sauna every day and why I'm starting to live a chemical free lifestyle. And I got essential oils instead of chemicals in my all this crazy shit. Right? I can go on and on and on about all that self-care shit too. It's because of shit like that. I call it the A5 method.
No, I love it. I love it because I do a lot of some of the similar stuff. So, like I did a cold water plunge recently. I love essential oil stuff. We try to eat very healthy. Stop drinking as much. Stop doing things that weren't serving. So that I can be the best version of me I can. So, is this like a community that you're growing, or a group that you're doing, or how are you setting it up? Are you still in that initial stage?
Yeah, man. So I've been building it this whole time, underdog empowerment. And so alpha underdog is literally the evolution of underdog empowerment. And so right now we're recording this. This is what is this?
April 20th.
April 420, baby. Smoke it up if you smoke,
420.
But what do you call it? We're recording this 420. All right. At the time, underdog empowerment, we're revamping this website, right? But it's going to tell the full story on the Start Here page. Right now, there's a Start Here page, but it's just all about business, business focus, whatnot, because I haven't revamped that website since 2019 that's when the focus was.
Mhm.
Well, now I'm going to be able to tell the whole story because all I've been doing is documenting this whole shit the whole time on the podcast on underdog empowerment, literally from day one, starting the business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so cool about it, because I just can keep on sharing the journey. But it's all there, underdog empowerment. And then alpha underdog, man, I'm launching it in 3 different phases. I got 3 different big things for it that are coming out. The first one is an apparel brand. Pretty much people, I've been hinting to that for over a year now and been lining up people talking about building apparel brands with certain people on the podcast, shit like that. But man, dude, this is so much more though, man. It's like so much more than just the apparel is just to give people the identity to represent and to put out there, right? That's all the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? What's behind it and what it's about, man, I can't fucking wait. And I got to keep the other shit under wraps for now.
No, that's fine. That's fine. What I do want to commend you is you lit up. Like I've talked to you before, like on the other podcast, and we've interacted some, but when you were talking about this, it's like it's your heart's passion. It's like your whole being just lit up. So I commend you for that. Cause I like seeing that light bulb moment. Like I know you know it already, but it's just like when you see people talk about something they love, it's just there, which I think is great. I think it's great. Man. So when is that? I know you can't give us the info yet, but when is that going to be released? In the next 3 months, 6 months, more so down the road, or how can people get involved with it? Because I know people are going to be interested.
Yeah, man. And so like with this whole entire thing, I haven't been rushing any of it. Like I'm not in a rush to release it, to launch it. Like it's coming this year. The apparel will launch this year, 2022. At least that's the plan. Way before the end of the year is the plan. But yeah, man, I'm not in a rush for it, man. None of it, no more. Like before, I used to always be like, we got to get done. And like, don't get it wrong. I'm still a get shit done. Like, hey, let's make a fucking plan. What are we going to do? And let's go fucking do it. But I'm not in a rush to like just check shit off and to get it out anymore and still do an excellent, like it's all happening because with this, I can't rush this because I'm still becoming that who the fuck I am. And I'll tell you the phase 3 is the book. I'm going to write a fucking book. All right. And I'm not just going to write like an Amazon bestseller. I mean, who knows what it's going to turn into, but I'm aiming for the fucking moon with this, you know, and everybody can get it. Anybody can get an Amazon bestseller. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody can get a top rated podcast, you know what I'm saying? But you still do the work and stuff and it's still legit. But this book, man, like I've been trying to, it's crazy because it's really hard for me to articulate all the traumatic experience. It's hard for anybody that's, you know, has a lot of PTSD, like you know, veterans and shit like that. Like it's hard for them to get it unless they start doing that actual work. And the reason why is because they suppress all that shit and they don't want to feel those very hurtful experiences again that they went through whenever this shit happened. But that's the only way to literally get it out and heal yourself to do it. And so I'm still doing a lot of that myself. A lot of that. I just started, man. I'm 6 months into like really doing, like for me, I'm going to try other therapies and modalities. Right now I'm doing an MDMA assisted psychotherapy, which helps me bring up all the shit to the surface of past trauma experiences, whatever I need to fucking focus on at that moment, feel it and release it and process it and all that shit, and then sit with it for days, and then integration work, all that shit. And it's been the only thing I've ever done in my life that's ever gave me any type of release ever in my life. And I've done all the drugs and went to prisons and psych wards and jails and institutions. And I've done all the business success and dominate and break 6 feet, all that, whatever you want to call it, the high achiever mindset, right? This is the only thing that's ever gave me any type of release. So I know I'm on the right path.
Yeah, no, and I think I've had a lot of friends talk about it, and it's good. And you just sparked something in my head. Is it that most high achievers are just so wanting to get that next high or be who, like, they don't really know or they won't admit who they are, so they just chase that next high or that next
Great question.
fix?
I love this question, bro. And I could probably tell you what it is for most men, but it might be a little bit of mixture of other shit, and it might be whatever, but I can only speak from my experience, right? For me personally, the main core reason, there's other reasons too, but the main core reason was that I didn't feel good enough to be my mom's son growing up. And, especially you read about, the connection between mother and children, like that connection is fucking real, right? But I didn't feel good when she sent me off the first time to rehab when I was 9, because I wasn't going to school and I was smoking weed because I didn't know how to deal with the trauma of losing my dad and all that, getting bullied in Ferguson as soon as all that shit. When she sent me away because she was doing that, what she thought was best in her, what was in best interest for me, and was doing that out of love, right? That still traumatized the fuck out of me, because I went to this rehab. I'm 9 years old. Everybody's else, the next youngest person is 13. And I'm getting picked on in there. And so I get in a fight, get kicked out. And then they recommend that I go to a psych ward. And my mom said, okay, let's send him to a psych ward then. And I go to psych ward for 5 days and literally thought I was going to die 24/7 in there. Like literally, if you want to know what the psych ward is, you want to hear it from a doctor's perspective, that spot the fuck on, read the book, The Body Keeps the Score, by the doctor. I can't remember his name, the author of the book. And he talks about it. And it literally made me shake uncontrollably, because it brought back all this shit. And I'm like, that's exactly how this shit goes down in these psych wards. And it's fucking some crazy, fucked up, sick shit, man. And so that, I was going on a tangent here. Where were we going with this? Oh, you're asking. Yeah. And so when I got left for the wolves, right? That's how I felt. I felt abandoned, like I was left to die, and my mom didn't care about me, and that I wasn't good enough to be her son. That my ego took over, and that's why I started this whole fucking underdog empowerment, prove a motherfucker wrong thing. That's where all that shit came from, man. And so that's the evolution of alpha underdog. Alpha underdog is, you've gotten rid of that shit. Like you've healed that shit, and you feel like you are enough because you are enough. You are good enough. And that's the real shit. That's the evolution I'm talking about. And that's how I'm helping. That's why I'm so passionate about this shit, man.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think that's something that you have to come to. And I think, like, I've dealt with stuff too, and just going through life and looking back at past experiences and stuff, you have to get to that point where you're happy being you, and you are enough, which is hard a lot of times, because again, we want to get this next little goal or this next little thing, or this next little present we accomplished. Look at me. And in reality, you don't need that. You just need to love you.
Yeah.
So I commend you for getting to that point, man.
One last little thing on that, Joe. Man, the thing with that I was so scared about was like, man, well, if I go and do all this healing shit or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Where am I going to get my drive from? That's where I get my power from. That's what got me here in the first place, was that darkness and dysfunction, and tapping into that. And like, oh, you think I'm not good enough? I'll show you, that's where I got all my power, right? It's bullshit. It is where I got the power, and it did get me to where I was at in 2021, but I wasn't getting anywhere else past that. And it was getting ready to come back in a bad way. And I tell you what, I'm more powerful than I've ever been from just some of the work that I've done. I still got so much to do, but I'm more powerful than I've ever been, being able to know that I am enough. Like, I'm telling you what, man, like that is, I still got the drive. I still got the hunger. I still it still electrifies my fucking soul every time I step into the arena. I still love the chaos. I still perform like a beast under pressure. Put me in the fourth quarter in clutch, coach. Let's go fucking win the game. Like I'm still that guy. All right. I also have gotten to a point where I'm able to allow peace into my life now too, and and be able to make those decisions from a place of peace rather than from a high, unregulated emotional state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now you'll be able to help more people. Now you'll be able to affect more people because now it won't be from that chaos, but it will be from your commitment and that place of security you have with yourself now. So I love that, man. I love that a lot.
Amen, brother.
Any other parting words you have for our audience? I know we went down a completely different trail, but I loved it. I think it was great.
Man, dude, no, I think that was fucking it, man. I got to really express some shit. Usually, like, I, go through some shit. We talk about some podcast, some business shit or whatever, or just some real life shit or whatever. But really, it's been a while since I've been able to just go and just express shit. You kind of really pulled it out of me. So I really appreciate you today, man, and appreciate hearing me rambling on about it or whatnot.
Yeah, no, I love it because I think it's important. I think it's hugely important in our space. And even with people that are like what I call first step, breaking that 6-figure barrier, they need to understand you don't have to sacrifice everything to get to this point. You got to deal with your shit and move forward. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you. Thank you again for being on the show, man.
Hey, thank you, brother.
And thank you all for listening. Share this episode. You know who Zach Babcock is. Share it to people, men, entrepreneurs, women, don't matter. Anyone that would be dealing with this type of stuff, that maybe they're an overachiever, maybe they're just loving the chaos, whatever. They need to hear this episode. Check out Zach's podcast as well, Underdog Empowerment. It's top 15 podcast for Apple. And until next time, be legendary, love well, and love yourself.